Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Work to go beyond living paycheck to paycheck. This is very important because, of course, I talk about business on this channel, but also money management. And I'm going to say it's a sad thing, how many people have to live paycheck to paycheck. And, of course, if you're not making that much money, and shoot, these days, some people are lucky just to have a job. I can understand living paycheck to paycheck. But it's important to work so you don't have to work. I mean, it might take a while, but everybody can do it regardless of how much you make. So one of the first things is to get in the habit of paying yourself first, even if it's just a little bit of money. It could be $5 a paycheck. Hey, people say, yeah, that's not anything. Yeah, you're right. It's not at first, but after a few months, it starts to look better. After a year, it looks even better because I'm saying just start at $5. If you can get that up to $20, $30, even $100, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. So that's the first thing, savings. And indeed, saving money should be a regular part of everyone's life. That should be a regular part of everyone's life. No ifs, ands, or buts. So that's the first thing. So you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. The second thing is cut your expenses back. You know what? You might not be able to drink that beer. You might not be able to go to that restaurant. You might have to eat in more. You might have to cut coupons, everything. Try to see where you can limit your expenditures. This is very important. Try to limit your expenditures to the greatest extent possible. You want to, you might not be able to get that extra donut. You might have to skip over some dessert or something. Yeah, of course, you still want to pay your basics. But you want to spend a little bit less and then save that money. Put that money in your savings account or even just let it sit in your checking account, in case something comes up. But really look at stuff like, do you really need that extra bike? Do you really need those extra pair of shoes? Seriously, if you think about where people spend their money, it'll be on clothes and shoes that they might or might not need. And I'm saying this as a shoe hound. And, as an aside, I might need to look at some consignment shops with my shoes. But here's the thing. In general, do you need them? Because even when I do buy shoes, it's either for a business event or I just like them. I try to avoid just buying shoes just to buy it. And, there's plenty of people, mainly women, but some guys too, who will buy something just to buy it. Oh, it looks good. Let me buy it. Just buy stuff. There's some people who just buy clothing, especially. They get in there and they just buy, I got to have it. And say, no, unless you need it, just try to cut back. I'm going to tell you something with me. There was indeed a time where money was so tight. I had like one undershirt. Just started a couple of jobs, had one undershirt. I had to come home, wash that shirt just to wear it the next day. So you don't know. I mean, seriously, look at everything. You don't have to be super stylish, even if you can be a clothes hound and all of that, but you can still just have different combinations. Ask yourself, do you really need this article of clothing? Do you need that extra bit of food? Save money there. You might say, okay, do I need to do as many things as I'm doing? Do I need the extra? Do I need all of these apps? Do I have to see movies on all these channels? One thing I'm noticing with these apps, if you really look at them good, a lot of times you can find the same thing on another channel. You can find the same thing. So you'd be like, well, do I really need this one? And I'm saying now, like I said, if you got the money, you can afford it. Oh, yeah, fine. But I'm saying when you're in a place where you live in paycheck to paycheck, because you want to save as much money to go into your savings. Something else, too, you can do. All right, so you already paying yourself first, and, that could be slow. You're trying to cut corners as much as possible. Unless you absolutely cannot, get a part-time job. Despite everything happening out there, there's plenty of low-level part-time jobs, and that's all the part-time job needs to be, low-level. because you on it. You're not making a career out of it. It's not your career. It's solely, yeah. I mean, some people call it their play money. You could put all of it into your savings. I always talk about working at gyms. One of the things the first time I worked at a gym, I already had a government job. I started working at that gym for two reasons. One, to have money to put into my savings, because despite having that government job, I was living in a high price neighborhood, and things were tight. I mean, I could still eat well and all of that good stuff, but it was tight. I was living paycheck to paycheck, so I said, okay, let me do something to bring in more money. And see, that's when I first learned how to not live paycheck to paycheck, because then I had two things with that gym. One, a little bit extra money. Two, because they had actually had a situation where they had to cut back on hours. I still had a free membership to the gym. So I was saving money on two levels. I didn't have to use that gym money for anything but savings. So I was able to build up something. Do whatever. So those are, just to get out of that. And of course, the obvious thing, if you can get another job, but I'm just going to be realistic. Sometimes you could be in a job you like and it could be tough. You don't want to, it's several reasons. But even within it, it's like, first, that savings. Treat your savings like a bill and pay it. Treat it like a bill. Like my savings, the money I put in there, I don't even think about. Only time like my savings is, one part of it is to pay taxes. But the main thing is it's like extreme emergency. Extreme. And even then, I got a different account to use for that. But I'm saying extreme. That's how you have to look at your savings. It's like, treat it like a bill that you need to pay. You get in the habit. Don't think, once you put it in there, don't think about it. So that's one, cutting back on your expenses. That's two, that you can save the money, put it in your savings. And then three, get a part-time job. Put that into your savings. Now, your savings is this, okay? Because once you get to that point and say you get enough, if you're in business, you want at least 3 months worth of expenses. You'll start noticing a difference in things once you get to just enough savings for 1 month of bills. And when I say bills, I mean your rent, mortgage, car note, insurance, food, all the basic stuff you have to pay. Once you get to that point, you're going to start noticing, it's like, well, wait a minute. I got enough money here. I don't have to wait on my paycheck. And you'll start seeing that your money is growing because it's a different vibe. See, when you paycheck to paycheck, you really do get worried. You get pressed. I remember one time I was paycheck to paycheck, and there was something. I was working on a retail job. There was something where they didn't deliver the checks right away. Oh, shoot, Rom was hot. Because, you had bills to pay. And this was, it's an interesting situation. I'll get into it in another one. But, you start thinking about stuff more. But when you have that savings there, you're not as pressed, you're more relaxed. When you're more relaxed, then you can start thinking about other things to do. And see, the thing is, stress causes health issues. So you don't have that same stress. And then if you get to the point you build that savings, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. If something happens on your job, you're not you still got some wiggle room to get another job. You got some time. You can keep some bills paid and everything. So always work so it's not paycheck to paycheck. Always work. And like I said, it's tough. It ain't easy, especially if you ain't making that much money. But anybody, just like I said, just start putting away a little bit of money. And two things you can always do right away. And then the third one, you might have to work a little bit harder. The two things, saving, period, and then cutting your expenses so you can add even more to your savings. And then the part-time job, that can be a little bit harder, but there's always something open. Despite what everybody say about jobs, you can always find something 12 to 20 hours a week. So anyway, indeed, that's the whole retail field right there. So anyway, Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.